throughout my career and my life.
Roman Reigns' shocking stretcher exit at Clash in Paris left fans stunned, not just because of the brutal beatdown, but because of who carried him out. Usually, WWE relies on medical staff or backstage personnel for these moments, but this time, the names behind the mask were a surprise. Independent wrestlers stepped in, blending real wrestling talent with WWE's dramatic storytelling. It's a fascinating glimpse behind the curtain, showing how WWE is leaning on fresh faces from the indie scene to bring authenticity to its biggest moments. Let's dive into who these unsung heroes really are. The brutal beatdown at Clash in Paris. To truly appreciate the magnitude of what happened, you have to understand the context. Clash in Paris was not just another event on WWE's calendar. It was a major international show, bringing together some of the company's top stars for an unforgettable night. Among the highlights was the intense confrontation between Roman Reigns and two of WWE's fiercest competitors, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed, known for his immense size and raw power, teamed up with Braun Breaker, a hard-hitting brawler with a reputation for relentless aggression. Together, they delivered one of the most vicious beatdowns of Roman Reigns we've seen in recent memory. The sequence was brutal and intense, with the camera capturing every devastating move and every grimace on Reigns' face as the attack unfolded. When the dust settled, Roman lay motionless, clearly overwhelmed by the onslaught. WWE then showed the tribal chief being carefully placed on a stretcher, carried away by medical personnel. This moment was designed to be shocking. It was a rare sight to see Reigns, usually so invincible, in such a vulnerable state. The unexpected reveal. Independent wrestlers step in. But here's where the story gets really interesting. WWE fans and insiders alike started wondering, who were the medics carrying Roman Reigns out? WWE typically uses its own trained medical team or stunt personnel for these moments. But this time, it was different. Thanks to the sleuthing of Lucas Charpad, a well-known wrestling insider and journalist, the identities of those carrying Reigns have finally been confirmed. And they're not WWE regulars at all. Instead, they were independent wrestlers Kuro and Nate Prince, two talented names who have been making waves on the indie circuit but have yet to land full-time contracts with WWE. Kuro, a rising star known for his technical skill and athleticism, and Nate Prince, a powerhouse with a growing reputation in independent wrestling, were the ones who carefully lifted the tribal chief onto the stretcher and escorted him backstage. Their presence added a subtle yet significant layer of authenticity to the segment. These aren't just random extras. These are wrestlers who know the craft inside and out, capable of making every movement and expression look genuine. More indie talent in the security team. The intrigue didn't stop there. The security team that flooded the ring and rushed to control the chaos featured several other independent wrestling names. Ricky Sosa, Joseph French Jr., Calypso, and referee Alex Schneider were all involved in this chaotic, yet meticulously choreographed scene. Each of these performers brought their own experience and skill to the table, helping WWE craft a seamless and believable storyline. Security teams in WWE matches often have to look imposing and authoritative, but also be nimble and quick to react. And these indie wrestlers fit the bill perfectly. What this means for WWE, a growing trust in indie talent. This behind-the-scenes detail highlights something very important about WWE's current approach. The company is placing more trust in independent wrestling talent than ever before. Using these skilled indie wrestlers in high-profile angles with top stars like Roman Reigns is a sign that WWE is keen to blend fresh faces and fresh energy into its universe. Historically, WWE has been a closed system, relying mostly on its own roster and developmental talent. But the wrestling landscape has changed dramatically over the last decade. Independent wrestling has exploded in popularity, creating a deep pool of highly skilled performers who can bring new styles, new personalities, and new excitement to WWE programming. By featuring wrestlers like Kuro, Nate Prince, Ricky Sosa, and others in these crucial moments, WWE is not only showcasing their skills, but also auditioning them in front of the world's largest wrestling audience. It's a win-win. WWE gets authentic, polished talent to enhance its storylines, and indie wrestlers get exposure and a foot in the door. Could these indie wrestlers become WWE stars? Naturally, the big question on every fan's mind is, will any of these independent wrestlers eventually sign with WWE full-time? Could Kuro, Nate Prince, Ricky Sosa, or the others be the next breakout stars to join the WWE roster? The answer is very possibly. WWE has a history of scouting talent from the indie scene, and in recent years, many of today's top stars got their start outside WWE before making the jump. Wrestlers like Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and AJ Styles all honed their craft on the independent circuit before becoming household names in WWE. Given the positive response to their roles in this segment and WWE's apparent willingness to integrate them into big storylines, it wouldn't be surprising to see some or all of these wrestlers signed in the near future. The timing might even align with WWE's growing emphasis on diversity and fresh characters to rejuvenate its shows. The storyline context. Why was Roman written off TV? While fans are buzzing about the indie talent involved, there's also the practical reason behind Roman's stretcher segment. The storyline justification is clear. Roman Reigns needs to be written off TV temporarily to accommodate his upcoming role in the highly anticipated Street Fighter movie. This Hollywood project requires Roman to be away from wrestling for a few weeks, with reports suggesting he will be off-screen until late September. WWE often writes injuries or attacks into storylines to explain the absence of major stars, and this beatdown at Clash in Paris was a perfect, dramatic way to do just that. So while the segment serves a narrative purpose in WWE's fictional universe, it also works in the real world to manage Roman's schedule and commitments outside wrestling. Blending reality and storylines, the art of modern WWE. This entire episode, from the vicious attack to the indie wrestlers carrying Roman away, showcases WWE's evolving storytelling style. Modern WWE often blurs the lines between fiction and reality, creating storylines that feel authentic and raw. The inclusion of indie wrestlers, the visible chaos in the ring, and in the realistic portrayal of Roman's injury all contribute to a more immersive experience for fans. It's not just about scripted drama anymore. It's about creating moments that resonate on multiple levels. By mixing real-life elements, Roman's movie schedule, with storyline beats and introducing fresh talent, WWE is crafting a layered narrative that keeps fans hooked, speculating, and invested. Final thoughts. A new era for WWE? In the end, this segment at Clash in Paris was more than just a storyline beat. It was a glimpse into WWE's future. By trusting independent wrestlers with such a pivotal role and carefully blending real-world logistics with on-screen drama, WWE is setting the stage for fresh storytelling and new stars. Roman Reigns' attack and stretcher moment will be remembered as one of the most powerful scenes of 2025, but perhaps even more significant is the quiet revolution happening behind the scenes. WWE's door is opening wider to outside talent, and fans should get ready for the next wave of incredible wrestlers who could soon become household names. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more valuable updates.